Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, Victoria ISD students earn top marks in a key category. Find out what they're excelling at. Plus, Calhoun County loses a longtime leader. A look at his legacy of service. And Houston authorities charge a man in a boy's shooting. What led to the deadly incident after a prank.
It's going to be very hot for the first week of September, but now we've got a storm in the Pacific that we've got to watch. We'll talk about that coming up.
And tonight we have a top-ranked matchup between the Victoria West Warriors and Goliad Tigerettes in Goliad. We'll get you prepared for this battle later on in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shauna Curry. Don Brubaker has the night off. Well, 25 News Now has confirmed the passing of Calhoun County Precinct 1 Commissioner David Hall. He died in his sleep early this morning at the age of 54. Hall began serving the county in 2017 after a career as a sheriff's deputy. Judge Vern Lissy described him as a seasoned leader who cared deeply about his community. Over his 9 years, Hall played a key role in projects like the county's centralized dispatch system, beach erosion education, and even upgrading local playgrounds. He leaves behind his wife and children and a legacy of service in Calhoun County.
There's a shock. Calhoun County lost a strong leader today. But in saying that, we have a lot of strong leaders that are right behind him and going to carry on his legacy. We're going to continue, but it's not going to be easy.
Judge Lissy says he and Hall were two of the longest tenured members of the Calhoun County government. Tomorrow's regularly scheduled meeting will be held. The county will have a picture of Hall at his usual seat. Lissy says the county hopes to have a plan to fill Hall's seat in the coming days. Cracks in the road, craters in your commute. Potholes are more than just a nuisance. They can damage vehicles, drain wallets, frustrate drivers, and we're taking a closer look at where the worst ones are popping up. Today, we found these at Redwood Drive and Mistletoe Avenue. Show us the pothole or potholes that are putting a bump in your commute. You can email us a picture or video to staff@crossroadstoday.com. The City of Yoakum Utility Office is reporting a major water line break. Officials say crews are on site working to contain the loss and make the needed repairs. Residents may notice low water pressure or no water for a while. There's no exact timeline for the repairs yet. The team is doing everything they can to fix it safely and quickly. Residents are asked to conserve water until the line is back up and running. Victoria ISD's superintendent wants to build on high ratings from this past school year. 25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley spoke with the superintendent today, and he joins us now with more. Ray?
Yes, Shauna, the Texas Education Agency released a scale number on how certain schools in Victoria are doing in college, career, and military readiness. The most recent grades give A's across the board. Superintendent Sheila Collazo is working tirelessly to ensure her students' future. Their college, career, and military readiness and graduation rate are both sitting at an A+. With college readiness, the focus is on SAT and ACT scores, as well as enrolling in dual credit courses.
Having A's across the board on the CCMR side for the district and all campuses, and on the graduation side for the district and all campuses, is truly a celebration, and it's a tribute to the hard work that goes into keeping track of every single student in VISD.
Collazo says she expects children to perform at a high level and wants to challenge students to enroll in more dual credit classes so they can be prepared for college.
My motivation for college readiness is very simple. We have the option for students to earn these credits while in high school, and Victoria ISD assumes the bill for those courses. We pay for them.
Collazo says students should be given the opportunity to excel and perform at a high level. Collazo's goal is to ensure every student graduating from VISD will be ready for either college or career and will graduate on time and ready to enter the real world. Shauna?
Here's our viewer poll tonight. We're asking how confident you are that VISD students are ready for life after high school based on these recent CCMR ratings. Very confident? Are you somewhat confident? Not very confident, or not confident at all? We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. And right now, the average is not very confident. Still pretty close to neutral there, but we want to hear from you. So get your vote in, and we'll have another look at the results on 25 News Now at 10. Today marks a historic moment for higher education in the Crossroads. It's the first day for students at the newly renamed Texas A&M University Victoria campus. Interim President James K. Nelson says everything ran smoothly, with students finding their classes and administration keeping things on track. First-time freshman Gavin Flessner from Cuero says his day went well, and he's excited about the campus joining the A&M system, calling it a positive change for students.
Because it'll encourage more kids to probably come here if they for a specific subject, since it's now under A&M's name.
Some of the new courses of study at Texas A&M University Victoria will include agri-science and aviation. The Victoria Regional Airport is getting $2.5 million for upgrades. That money is coming from TxDOT to remodel the terminal. The county will also cover 10% of the costs. Construction will kick off soon, and the parking lot repaving is already underway. That's expected to wrap up in about 90 days, weather permitting. Meanwhile, the runway is nearly finished, and United flights to and from Houston are on track to return on Friday. The Texas A&M Forest Service is reminding hunters to practice wildfire safety as dove season approaches. To read the full article, visit crossroadstoday.com. And now let's go to Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez for a first look at the forecast. And Mac, we're having to turn our eyes to the other coast now as we watch some tropical weather.
Yes, it's interesting. This is backwards of what we normally expect. We have a storm in the Pacific that may have something to do with us. Now, I've seen this happen before. It's rare, however. We have what hits a tropical storm Lorena, and you can see it right about there. It's not a huge storm, but it is forecast to turn, roll into Baja California and into the Sonoran Desert right about here. At that point in time, it starts affecting West Texas with rain, and eventually will bring that rain into our area. I'm not saying the storm will be here. I'm just saying that the debris and the moisture will enhance our rain chance beginning this weekend. So we'll be taking a real close look at that coming up in a few minutes. Right now, we'll toss it back to Shauna.
Authorities in Houston have charged a 42-year-old man with murder after a ding-dong ditch shooting that left an 11-year-old Houston boy dead. This happened on Saturday. Witnesses told officers the boy was ringing doorbells of homes and running away. Police booked 42-year-old Leon Gonzalo Jr. into jail this morning. His address matches the one where someone fatally opened fire at the 11-year-old. A witness told police the boy was running away from the house when he was shot. The head of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, Bill Pulte, has filed a new criminal referral against Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. Pulte's criminal referral filing comes as President Donald Trump is trying to oust Cook. In a Fox News interview, Pulte accuses Cook that she admitted blatant mortgage fraud. He claims Cook said she had a property as a second home, but then alleges on official disclosure documents that she called it a rental investment property. Cook has not been charged with anything. She is currently suing the Trump administration, arguing her firing is unjustified. This is the third criminal referral to the Department of Justice that Pulte has made against Cook. Congress is bracing for a politically bruising fall as lawmakers returned to Washington today with massive fights upcoming. Some of these include federal funding, the Jeffrey Epstein files, and President Trump's policing push. Ivan Rodriguez has the latest.
After a summer filled with tensions on Trump's nationwide deportations, National Guard deployments, and a string of high-profile firings, Congress is returning to a messy fall. For Democrats, they won't have to wait long for their first opportunity to spar with Trump. Lawmakers have 4 weeks to pass bills to fund the government and avoid a shutdown. Democrats are signaling they want new checks on President Trump's power and the rollback of the president's signature domestic policy law. But White House officials say they're in no mood to yield to those demands and expect Democrats to help keep the government open.
The president is seeking to go around Congress and undermine our authority. That's bad faith. That's not how you create a budget.
Another partisan battle on the House side includes the Jeffrey Epstein files. Tuesday, the House Oversight Committee is set to meet with Epstein victims.
Taxes, jobs, the economy, those are always the big issues. But you really can't solve any of that if this place is corrupt. We're going to get these files released.
GOP Representative Thomas Massie and his Democratic counterpart, Representative Ro Khanna, are also collecting signatures for a bill that would require the Trump administration to turn over all relevant Epstein case material. Since they're using a tactic to circumvent party leaders known as a discharge petition, all they need is 218 signatures to force that bill to the floor. On the Senate side, Republicans will have to tackle the chaos at the CDC, where Trump fired an official that the Senate confirmed just days before its August recess.
We now have an acting acting head of the CDC who has absolutely no experience with the agency or in public health response. I really worry what the consequences will be if we have a public health crisis in the near future.
Trump has also personally added more items to Congress's to-do list. He declared last week that he was working with House Speaker Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader John Thune on a major crime package that will further stoke partisan battles. In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Today, President Trump announced U.S. Space Command will move its headquarters to Huntsville, Alabama. The headquarters location has been the source of back and forth in recent years. Officials decided to move it from Colorado Springs, Colorado to Alabama during Trump's first administration. However, a report from the Government Accountability Office in 2022 found the U.S. Air Force's decision-making process had significant shortfalls in its transparency and credibility. Then in 2023, President Biden followed the advice of the head of Space Command and chose to have it remain in Colorado. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, a high-stakes meeting behind closed doors, what lawmakers are demanding from the Justice Department about the Jeffrey Epstein case. Plus, a major court ruling after a controversial military move, what it could mean for the future of immigration crackdowns. Meeting today with Jeffrey Epstein's victims. The meeting happening behind closed doors. The House Oversight Committee is investigating the Department of Justice's handling of the Epstein case. ABC's Perry Russum reports.
The House will be in order.
On Congress's first day back in session, a high-stakes meeting on Capitol Hill. A dozen lawmakers from the House Oversight Committee meeting with Jeffrey Epstein's victims behind closed doors. The committee is investigating the Department of Justice's handling of the Epstein case and has called for the DOJ to release all records related to Epstein.
The victims themselves have stated that this is a lot bigger than I think anyone anticipated.
Committee Chairman James Comer of Republican issuing subpoenas to several former government officials, including former President Bill Clinton, James Comey, and William Barr. The committee withdrawing a subpoena issued for Robert Mueller citing health issues. The former FBI director's family telling the New York Times he has Parkinson's disease. Republican Congressman Thomas Massie today formally filing a petition to try and force a vote to compel the DOJ to release all the Epstein files.
I don't think that the president himself is implicated in these files, but I think he has rich, powerful, politically connected friends who may be implicated in these
documents.
The saga has loomed large over President Trump's second term. Trump last month asked if he's in favor of releasing all the files.
I'm in support of keeping it totally open. I couldn't care less. You got a lot of people that it could be mentioned in those files that don't deserve to be. People, because he knew everybody in Palm Beach. I don't know anything about that, but I have said to Pam and everybody else, give them everything you can give them, because it's a Democrat hoax. It's just a hoax.
All of today's events are ahead of a major news conference tomorrow. We will hear from Epstein's victims at the Capitol. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
A federal appeals court has cleared the Trump administration to cancel a major climate program. The ruling overturns a judge's order blocking the freeze of grants and contracts for nonprofits running a green bank. The decision lets the administration cut more than $16 billion in funding, which officials called a waste of taxpayer money. The funds had been awarded to groups like Climate United and the Coalition for Green Capital. The program also faced FBI and Justice Department reviews. A federal judge has ruled the Trump administration's use of the California National Guard and Marines in Los Angeles this summer violated federal law. The ruling comes as Chicago is bracing for a major federal immigration enforcement operation and possible National Guard deployment in the city. Michael Yoshida reports.
President Donald Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth broke federal law when they sent the U.S. military into Los Angeles this summer to help carry out law enforcement activities. That according to a new court ruling. U.S. District Judge Charles Breyer saying the administration violated a 19th century law that generally prohibits the use of troops for domestic law enforcement purposes. In June, thousands of federalized California National Guard members and U.S. Marines were deployed to L.A. during an aggressive immigration crackdown. Thousands protested for days in parts of downtown L.A., with some violent clashes between demonstrators and police.
After conducting a trial on this matter, that the National Guard was deployed in California for normal law enforcement operations, arrests, searches, stops, helping execute search warrants and things like that. And he said that this is illegal.
Tuesday's ruling is limited to the state of California. Still, it comes as Trump is considering sending National Guard members to other cities as the administration continues crime crackdowns and immigration enforcement operations across the country.
ICE has informed our Illinois State Police Department that they are going to begin operations sometime later this week.
The president vowing to also send troops to Chicago to address violence, saying,
We're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation.
We have received credible reports that we have days, not weeks.
Over the weekend, Chicago's mayor signed an executive order aimed at pushing back against Trump's immigration policies. In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida.
Players will have another chance to go for the $1 billion Powerball jackpot tomorrow night. No ticket matched all 6 numbers drawn last night, plus the Powerball. The winning numbers were 25, 23, 8, 40, 53, and 5 as the Powerball. With no player holding the winning ticket, the jackpot grows now to $1.3 billion. The next drawing again is tomorrow night, so get those tickets.
So there is a chance still. There is. But you know, if you're not in it, you can't win it. So got to make sure you get your ticket out. But it's all right. I got mine. We're fine. Hey, folks, 90 degrees right about now. Rather nice day. You might have noticed that the sun is getting lower on the horizon. We should be getting less and less solar insolation in the next couple of weeks, but we still managed to get up to 98. Got to correct that. I don't know why it says 96, but 98 was the actual high temperature. No rain today because everything came over the weekend, but the thing is, while we're going to be hot for a couple of days, I got rain this coming weekend, and we'll be talking about that after this. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Lots of sunshine for today, but you might have noticed we are also getting a northerly wind, which is bringing in drier air into the region. All that moisture that we had over the weekend with the rain is all pushed down right off the Gulf Coast, as you see right about there. The stationary front, we talked about this last week, was the one triggering that mechanism, or the storms, and that dropped south and brought us the rain and moved all the way out to sea, as you see right about there. Right now, we're looking, shall we say, at the East Coast, where they've got some really nice fall weather. The West Coast is getting some thunder shower activity, but right here off the coast of Mexico and the Pacific, we got to watch something. Let's talk first about us. We see the rain that moved offshore. A couple of little pop-ups late this afternoon, but all things considered, it just cleared out very nicely. It'll be rather dry, low humidity, but that's also going to make it get very warm for the next couple of days, as we're looking for temperatures at or near 100. So yeah, it's still hot. So it's not in the Gulf, and there's one in the Atlantic. This is Gabrielle, that's going to strengthen, will be a storm, but also will be turning and probably missing most of the islands and even Bermuda as well. What we're talking about is out here in the Pacific. This is a tropical storm Lorena. Lorena is right about here off the coast of Baja. It's going to turn because the winds are flowing in this fashion, and the upper winds are going to drive it into the island and then out into the desert southwest, into the Sonoran Desert. And you're saying, well, it's going to evaporate. The low-level moisture will evaporate, but there's enough high-level moisture that will cross over. That will begin bringing rain to El Paso, of all places. This happens. I mean, it's not often, but it does happen. I've seen it happen before. And once it moves in this area, then the upper winds are going to carry it into Texas. So this is actually going to give West Texas a pretty good chance for rain this week. We're going to be watching it moving along, marching along. By the time we get to Friday, Saturday, it'll be somewhere in central Texas, not the storm. No, I'm not saying the storm will make it. It's just the debris, cloud cover, and moisture. And that storm, that stormy weather, will trigger some sort of thunder shower activity around this region. Let me see if we can see it here on our future tracker. There's Austin. Let's look over here. You see, oh, there it is, coming on shore right there at Baja. Then it crosses over to El Paso, and I can get it all the way to Sunday, and you can see how stormy weather begins up north. And then Monday, it rolls through here. At this point in time, the computer models are telling us 2 to 3 inches of rain. Now, because we had rain recently, we're fairly saturated. So 2 to 3 inches may put us very close to a flooding situation. So we'll watch this very carefully, and we'll see it as it moves across the state and then into our region. But that's our chance for rain at the end of this week. Meanwhile, very hot. Northerly winds you see right there, bringing in that dry air with abundant sunshine. We'll get up into the upper 90s. As a matter of fact, by Thursday, we're looking at 100. So on the hot side, then the clouds roll in Saturday. Sunday, Monday is our best chance for some of that tropical rain rolling in, courtesy of a storm on the other side of the world. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads a day on your phone. And here's Shauna.
All right, well, now we send it over to Max Williams for a look at our sports tonight.
That's right, Shauna. After the break, we're going to reveal our game of the week here for week 2. I'll tell you what game that's going to be coming up in sports. All right, Kraus, so it's great to be back talking sports with you all. And tonight we begin our sports block here with Tuesday night volleyball action. We have a top-ranked matchup with Victoria West Warriors battling the Goliad Tigerettes, with both teams having 20-plus wins this season. And 25 News Now weekend sports anchor Ray Robinson will be at tonight's big contest and gives us the rundown for both teams.
All right, Max, I don't know about you, but I am certainly in the mood for some elite South Texas volleyball action, which brings me here to the Goliad Bennett Event Center, where the Goliad Tigerettes are getting ready to take on recent 5A standouts, the Victoria West Warriors. I mean, West has been a team that's surprising everybody with their regular season and tournament play. The team was undefeated for 15-plus games to kick things off, and tonight is the ultimate test for the Warriors, taking on state favorites in Goliad. Meanwhile, the Tigerettes are fresh off their self-titled volleyball tournament this past weekend, finishing first place against the St. Joseph Lady Flyers. This is a matchup where you really don't have to question the difference in size, because, I mean, Goliad has proven that they can hang with the best of them, and Victoria West is indeed the best of them. Now, make sure you tune into our 10 p.m. newscast, where we'll have highlights and more. Max, back to you.
All right. Also, Ray mentioned there yesterday that East and West game, that's a lustrous rivalry game between both of the schools. But for Crossroads Football Live Week 2, our game of the week will be at Memorial Stadium there Friday night. The game will kick off at 7 p.m. and both teams kind of head in this game in different mindsets going into this one. For West, they feel excited because they defeated the Lockhart Lions in a long rain-delayed game. The final score would be 54-6 in that one. Quarterback Nolan Boyce threw for 4 touchdowns, and running back Genesis Jeffries ran for 116 yards. Now for East, they're heading this game a little bit limping going in. They lost 27-0 there last week to Georgetown, their home opener, and they're trying to kind of avoid so many turnovers they had last week. And hopefully Deidre Callis can kind of get a little more involved in the offense at the quarterback spot. But rivalry games that bring out the best of both teams and coaches and fans everywhere. So we'll see who gets the job done for our game of the week here in week 2, which takes us to tonight's viewer poll. We're asked everyone, who do you think will be the impact player in Friday's Battle of the Boot contest between East and West? And the options were quarterback for East, Deidre Callis, West quarterback Nolan Boyce, East wide receiver Zorian Doran, or West running back Genesis Jeffries. And majority of people are staying there with Genesis Jeffries at 56% there for West. Now East has got 34% with Callis. So again, the running back spot's always important there in football. So if Jeffries can make some big plays, I think that could be huge for West to get the victory. Now finally, or to another, maybe an honorable mention for game of the week, with the Cuero Gobblers having their home opener there on Friday night versus Lavernia Bears out in the San Antonio area there where Lavernia is located. And Cuero last week had a big time upset, beating last year's 3 Division I state champions in the Columbus Cardinals 28-21. As for Lavernia, they went all the way to the state semifinals last year before they would lose to highly ranked Kilgore. That score would be 38-13. And last week they beat San Antonio Burbank 71-6. And they bring back top running back in Sean Garza this year, who will be very huge in that game. But Cuero's got a much improved defense this year, so we're going to see whose defense can make some plays and see if Cuero can take care of business versus Lavernia this Friday night at home. And that's going to do it here in sports. Shauna, back to you.
Thank you, Max. We are back in a moment. A famous Maine lobster returns to predict how long summer will last. Long tradition that people look forward to every year in Belfast, Maine. Passy Pete is back. The lobster made his annual Labor Day appearance to predict weather.
Oh my God.
We'll see 6 more weeks of summer or an early winter. Well, spectators traveling from Maryland, even from here in Texas, to see Passy Pete, the clairvoyant crustacean, emerge from the bay for the 11th time. Pete made his annual weather prediction choosing one of 2 scrolls. And after that, Pete was released back into the bay until next year.
It's like the groundhog.
Yeah, it's like the groundhog.
Trying to squeeze in on the groundhog territory there.
I don't know about Maine, but here in South Texas, summer's sticking around for a while.
Yeah, at least for half of this week. We're going to be searing tomorrow with temperatures pushing upper 90s to near 100. However, just remember that as we get to the weekend, we've got a pretty good chance of getting another big douse of rain, possibly 2 to 3 inches between Sunday and Monday. So we'll be certainly tracking that for you as it gets closer to our area.
All right, that'll just add to that humidity and steaminess.
If we get a nice rain, I want the rain. It's not too much. That's the problem.
Right, just the right amount.
Just the right amount.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.